the matchups going against Connor Shaw. He's a really good competitor, likes to throw in the move, just the challenges of trying to stop him, especially at home where that team just plays at a different level when they play at home.
Yeah, first and foremost, he's got great toughness. He's got an incredible will to win, and his track record speaks for itself. He's a gamer, and he's highly skilled. Obviously, he's got great athletic ability, can extend plays with his feet, and makes things happen, and always keeps his vision down the field. So he's got good instincts as a quarterback, and but brings great leadership to their football team.
Does he not get enough credit or attention?
Oh, I don't know. I know around these parts he gets a ton of attention and credit. I don't, I think this year in particular, he's had a couple different games he's been banged up, so if you're looking from a national, you're looking for an explanation why maybe nationally you don't hear more people talk about him, but anybody that has an opportunity to watch him play, obviously, will have high opinion of him.
Coach, last year you guys faced Dylan, who's more of just a stand back pocket passer. This year,
see, I don't see that because I don't. The guys got they got a lot of design runs for him. He runs well. He's not. I've faced that guy that can't move, and that's not Dylan Thompson. So I don't look at him like that at all. So whether it was our game or other games as well. I think he runs like Cole Stout. However you think he runs, I think that's how he runs. That's who he is, and that's pretty good. And so he's very mobile. So obviously Connor Shaw is probably a little quicker, short area quickness. But you're splitting hairs. Anytime a guy has mobility, can extend plays and run some design quarterback run game and be an actual threat. It always causes you issues defensively.
It's part of what they do with Bruce Ellington, a headache causer in that you're trying to cover tight ends, Mirberg going deep, quarterback Mike Davis, and then they kind of leak him out somewhere.
Yeah, they've got a lot of good football players. They do a good job of finding guys, getting the ball in space and making plays. So, they're pretty creative at finding, ways to get the playmakers the football.
I know you weren't here in 2011, but do you go back and look at the video of that game against South Carolina to see what Shaw did and how he was so effective?
Yeah, I've watched it. I watched it when I got here. So it was a lot of the same zone read stuff, shotgun zone read, and he pulled it a lot, and a lot of the two tight end and one tight end sets. And so, yeah, I saw that.
In terms of the run game, when they establish it, they're even more successful. How do you go about trying just to contain some of their big runners, especially a guy like Mike Davis? As soon as he gets a little bit downhill, he'll run a lot of guys.
Well, you got to play physical at the line of scrimmage, and your second level, your linebackers, got to fit things well, and you got to tackle. These guys are run with a great deal of determination and toughness, run behind their pads well. So, I don't know if he still leads the SEC in rushing or not, but I know that he did for a good while. Davis is a terrific runner. Seven's a great complement. He's got great shiftiness, very explosive and sudden. So, they're getting a lot more eye backs and pounding people, and they've had great success doing it.
Does Davis remind you of anybody in particular?
No, he's just really good. Probably a little bit stronger maybe than Andre Ellington. But that kind of explosive,ness and ability to take it to the house at any time.
They've had a bunch of drives this year where they chewed up a lot of clock. How important is it that you guys get off the field on third down so that the offense can go back to work?
This week is no different than any week. Third downs are always very critical. You got to win the line of scrimmage. If they're chewing clock, that means they're probably running the football effectively. You don't have to chew up a whole bunch of yards to run the ball effectively, and they're Coach Spurrier's very patient, and they win a lot of tight ball games through the years. It's not just this year. It's how he, since he's been at South Carolina, that's how it's kind of been their mode of operation. So, his quarterbacks are extension of him, and just in regards to the intelligence that you have to play with, and trying to manipulate the defense. But third down's critical. You know, we were somewhere in the 50 percentile range a year ago, and it was a big part of the game, a huge part of the game. Both sides of the ball. You know, we didn't convert very many third downs on offense, and we didn't stop them on third down on defense. So it's a recipe for disaster. But that being said, it's also a recipe for disaster if you don't, own the line of scrimmage, and we didn't do that either last year. So, there's a lot of critical factors in this football game, and third down is obviously a huge part of that.
Because they run so well, their quarterbacks run so well, especially on third down and convert first downs with their legs. Will that limit the amount of man coverage that you'll do in those situations?
I mean, you gotta you have to be, again, careful. They're smart, They want to see what you're doing, and they do a lot of check with me at the sideline. So they want to be in the right place. And it's kind of like facing a Georgia Tech with a really good quarterback and really good receivers. So, you do the math, and we know how crazy Georgia Tech drives you. So, they do that. They do it all the way up. And again, I'm the last guy that I need to remind myself, though. But 3rd and 19, last year. With the backup quarterback that ran the draw on us, for a critical first down. So, that drives you crazy. So that's why they win, though. You know what I mean? It's not, they're not Johnny-come-lately in regards to winning. That there's been a recipe for success for them, and obviously it's been difficult for opposing teams to crack the codes, if you will. So. That's, obviously the challenge for us, and we're excited for that challenge. And it's a difficult one, but one our guys are looking forward to.
Can you talk about a wild card Steve Spurrier is as far as play calling? You mentioned that a few weeks ago when you were talking about.
Yeah, he's a good play caller. Obviously, he's had great success. And he's smart with what he does, and simple to a certain degree, but incredibly effective. And the quarterbacks are usually an extension of him. And the quarterback run game is an element that's been added the last couple of years, and that's given him another huge weapon in running that offense effectively.
He's also liable to make a go for it on fourth down anywhere.
Oh, yeah. He sure will. Yeah, no, you got to be ready for those situations as well. He's aggressive. He's kind of that. He's got that go for broke attitude as a play caller, and I think that's reflective of his aggressive personality.
Your starting defense since the Georgia game really hasn't had many tests in the fourth quarter. Maybe a little bit the Boston College game. It seems like all year they've been in those tight games against Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Florida. Can that be a detriment? Just that.
I don't look at it like I feel every game's tough. I don't. We haven't just blown people out a number of games. We've played a lot of tight games deep into the third quarter, where it's a couple of score game, and so whether or not it's the fourth quarter or not, but I don't know. I think our guys have been battle tested that way, and have shown the propensity to have to make plays and come up with stops and create some turnovers in some tight games to help us get it more of a comfortable margin. So I expect it to be a great football game, and a 60-minute game at that. So that's just how he and they and again, we've played that way a lot this year as well.
Maybe in part because of that, where there haven't been that many tight games by the end of the fourth quarter. There's one ESPN analyst who said, I still have questions about Clemson's defense in big games.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about this defense?
No, I don't. Yeah. So.
Bashad Breeland said yesterday that Jay Ryan isn't a puppy anymore. But I'm sure if you had, the perfect world, it would be Travis Blanks out there. Talk about what you expect out of this freshman.
Well, again, he's excited for the challenge. He's worked hard. He's ready for it. We've got a couple more days here that he recognizes. He's got to a big job in front of him and big shoes to fill, and obviously he needs to play well for us to play well. So, but J-Ron likes the challenge. Yeah, he doesn't really shy away from it. Whether that's being naive to a certain degree, which is that is true partly, but you kind of like that too. I'd much rather be that way than, you know, him being all freaked out about it. So he's, you know, I would expect him to be a guy that goes out there and not flinch. But you know, we'll see. You got to go out and do it.
What do you lose not having Travis, and then what do you gain in having an athletic guy like J-Ron back there?
Oh, I mean, I'll just say this: without Travis, I mean, you have great leadership, a proven, you know, guy with great experience that you can count on, you know, and you can make quick adjustments with, and you're usually in a pretty good position. So, you know, but he's a guy that was heavily invested and really kept everybody on their toes, you know, and just a great on-the-field leader as well.
Going back to the third down, do you feel more confident this year? It seems like that's one area where you guys have really improved from your years in terms of third down conversion, being able to get out of the field.
We were pretty good last year going into the game. We weren't as good as we are this year, but I think we're probably, give or take, somewhere in the mid to low 30s. But we didn't play good, you know. We didn't cover them good, we didn't tackle them good, we didn't pressure them good, so we didn't do anything good on third down. And so, you know, would I expect to be better? Yeah, you know, we need to be. You know, that's the plan. Right there in the first 2, 3, 4 calls of third down defense, you know, I'm gonna make just the good calls, you know, not the bad calls, right? So. But no, we need to. You know, it's a huge part of the game, and the management, and in our execution, our discipline, a lot of things got to you know, come into factor with third downs.
Brent, Coach, when he talks about the formula for success, not deviating from the plan, maybe players and coaches being even